It's now 6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning
From 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, motion to repeal or review media decree defeated in Parliament. Pacific is Fiji's biggest export market. And former PWD workers charged by FICAC. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. A motion to repeal or review the Media Industry Development Decree 2010 has been defeated in Parliament. 24 MPs voted against the motion, moved by opposition parliamentarian Professor Biman Prasad.
This motion is...
Professor Biman Prasad told Parliament that the Media Decree is regressive and suppresses media freedom because it imposes restrictions and prescribes heavy penalties.
Madam Speaker, the restoration of parliamentary democracy has, in my view, and in the views of a lot of people, has seen little change in the behavior of large sections of our media and individual journalists. And there's a reason for this, Madam Speaker. There's a reason for this. It is not the choice of the media industry and journalists, but a result of severe penalties in the decree.
In response, Minister for Communication Aya Syed Kayum says the Constitution is the supreme law and anyone can challenge the Media Decree in court under Section 7 of the Constitution.
Freedom of speech, freedom of publication does not give the media to write any story about any individual. It does not give the media the right to say, for example, well, we know Mr. XYZ was standing outside Pender Street, therefore he was seeing prostitutes. They can't make those statements.
The motion drew much debate from both sides of the House today.
I'm shocked why the Honourable Member is saying that we should not provide a framework for media industry to operate and therefore give them unfettered access to have any kind of behaviour conduct.
Why should a body, Madam Speaker, that is appointed by a politically partisan minister, this one or into the future, why should any minister in the future have this power?
What we will see is all that Hollywood stories, all those Hollywood stories that are written on blog sites will be brought in and published in the mainstream media.
Even MIDA Chair Ashwin Raj was present in Parliament.
The decree is not about incriminating journalists. The decree is about protecting citizens of this country.
17 MPs voted in favour of the motion, while 9 did not vote. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
The Pacific region is now the biggest export market for Fiji, beating out the Australasian, North American and European markets in 2014. Minister for Trade, Tourism and Industry Fayaz Koya highlighted the growing market when asked by fellow MP Balminder Singh about the status of enhancing Fiji as a trading hub.
When comparing our exports to the Pacific from 2012 and onwards, Madam Speaker, a significant increase of 150% was recorded from 155 million to $387.3 million in 2013. Our export to the region continues to perform above all expectations and increasing to $710.6 million in 2014.
Koya also noted that the growth over the last 3 years from Fiji to the Pacific region has averaged approximately $417.6 million annually. Minister for Defence Timothy Natuva has called on the police to implement a new operational concept to tackle the increase in serious crimes. Natuva this week held an emergency meeting with the police seeking advice from the Republic of the Fiji Military Forces on how best to tackle the rising rate of home invasions given the available resources. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Defence Minister Timothy Natuva has this week held emergency meetings with the disciplined forces, both police and the military, after receiving reports of serious crimes.
In the past 2 months, there were the reports of activities by thieves and also police not attending to situations where they are required to come in.
Last weekend, Police Commissioner Ben Huneval told FBC TV's For the Record that resource constraints are making the force ineffective.
A detective branch has 21 detectives. They carry 15 to 50 case dockets between 21 of them, so that is times 50. Then they have 1 or 2 vehicles. 21 detectives, 2 vehicles. Who work and who look.
Natuva, though, maintains that the force has to work smarter with what they have.
He mentioned last week that they have some problem with vehicles, but I mentioned to him that there should not be a problem. He should have standby vehicle all the time, 24 hours a day.
According to the Police Commissioner, there has been a 52% hike up in serious crime for the first quarter of this year in comparison to 2014. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The first woman Prime Minister of New Zealand, Dame Shirley, says Fiji is an economic sweet spot at the moment and must utilise that to enhance further growth. She has challenged senior executives and accountants as leaders in their professions to make opportunities to see a future fit for Fiji's tomorrow. Christopher Chand reports.
Shirley is a former New Zealand Prime Minister who served from 1997 to 1999. She was the guest speaker at this morning's opening of the Fiji Institute of Accountants annual Congress at the Fijian resort.
I was thrilled to see a democratically elected government established late last year and a very positive economic outlook coming forward. I've been watching with interest the reform some of your government ministers are bringing to the public service, and it's a good time for Fiji to be thinking about what next. What should Fiji look like in 25 years, and what can you do now that will make a difference to what happens then?
Fiji's economic growth has been hitting the 4% mark, the highest in many years. But Shirley challenged this forum to set higher growth margins.
This is a wonderful country with a great history, and at this moment it's doing well. Debt's coming down, growth is going well, inflation is under control, and 4% is very good. But I look at the young people around the villages I've been through. I know that it's thriving, but we can do more.
The annual Congress is one of the largest business forums. This year there's been an overwhelming response with over 400 delegates.
I think the Institute plays a very strong role in partnerships and with other stakeholders. So we are sort of on the think tank. We do actually have very regular discussions with key stakeholders, in particular FIRCA. So yes, very much so. We are in the forefront.
The theme for this year's annual Congress is a vision for the future, believe it and achieve it. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Coming up, Sodelpa parliamentarian queries rezoning process at constituency meeting.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kena betu. Ena via kabi, moliti kena porombuka.
Goria na lali ne kabi. Bula FM number 2 ena sere.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption has today laid 4 new charges against 5 women in relation to a case dating back to 2012. Laisa Halafi, Asenada Manuapa Kanaivalu, Vadiseva Langai, Amelia Vunise and Ana Langere appeared in the Suva Magistrates Court today. Ellen Stolz reports.
The 5 women are charged with the conspiracy to commit a felony, abuse of office, obtaining financial gain and causing a loss during their time of employment for the Public Works Department. The women have been granted $1,000 bail each, asked to surrender their travel documents and told to report to the nearest police station on a weekly basis. They are also alleged to have caused a loss to the PWD by falsely facilitating the process of payments of checks to the said companies. The 6th man, Jaswant Kumar did not appear in court today as he is still recovering from surgery. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Defence lawyers have asked the Suva High Court for more time to provide disclosures to FICAC in the case of former Fiji National University Vice-Chancellor Dr. Ganesh Chand. They have also asked the court to release Dr. Chand's travel documents so that he can visit India on a business trip this month. FICAC has charged Dr. Chand with 1 count of abuse of office. It's alleged Dr. Chand approved the payments of overseas medical treatment for former Education Minister and Chairman of the FNU Council, Philippe Mbole, without the Council's approval. The court has ordered Dr. Chand to make a formal submission outlining his travel dates, people who he will be meeting with, where he will be staying, and other such details to prove to the court he is on a business trip. The case will be called again on July 20th. Opposition parliamentarian Josefa Ndulaki Virata has expressed his concern about the Department of Town and Country Planning approval for the rezoning of a part of Shirley Park in Lautoka. Ndulaki Virata was speaking at a constituency meeting of the Social Democratic Liberal Party in Raiwanga, Suva last night. Ali Kimbia has more.
In the first meeting of the year with party supporters, Sodelpa parliamentarian Josefa Ndulaki Virata raised the issue related to rezoning of property in Lautoka City. Ndulaki Virata is also a member of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Natural Resources, tasked to deliberate over a petition against the rezoning of Shirley Park, which was signed by a group of ratepayers.
We, as members of the committee, have met, and our report will be given to Parliament on the 18th of this month. But to our surprise, the approval has already been given, which I see no reason on why the committee was set up and why we sought the opinion of the...
When approached today, Local Government Minister Praveen Kumar Bala says he is not in a position to comment because he is not a member of the Standing Committee. Earlier this week, Bala told FBC News the Department of Town and Country Planning is the legal authority to refuse or approve rezoning, and in this case, they have approved the rezoning of Shirley Park. The Parliamentary Standing Committee on Natural Resource is expected to table its report with a number of recommendations in Parliament next week. 1/3 of the park has been rezoned from civic to special tourism zoning, as this will cater for the development of a 100-room hotel with a 400-seat conference room by Pimegi Company of Lautoka. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
24 officers have received their certificates today after completing the inaugural National Prosecution course in Suva. The training attracted police prosecution officers as well as officers from other institutions like Fiji National Provident Fund who have such functions under the law. Savara Tambor reports.
6 weeks of lectures and assignments have paid off for these officers. The performance of Acting Inspector Vimlesh Kiran Reddy of the Navua Prosecution Office did not go unnoticed. The mother of one child picked up 2 awards, one for ethics and the other all-round award.
I will implement those at my station level, especially at Prosecution Navua, and I'm going to teach others to follow me as well.
Other officers expressed gratitude for the opportunity to participate in the course.
It's always going to be a learning experience. Doesn't mean that we have graduated from here, we know everything. We'll always have to keep learning.
It was intensive. We undergo very practical learning and also some of it tough at times, but in the end we really complete the training with high notes, and that was a great achievement for us.
Chief Guest Chief Justice Anthony Gates told the officers that working as a prosecutor has considerable powers that must be exercised cautiously.
One advantage of this system was that it tended to make you a fairer prosecutor. You would see things from both sides. That appreciation is important, for you must always be fair. It is definitely not about winning cases. Also, as a prosecutor, it helped you look at your case and to consider at which point of your case will the defense make attack.
The officers are now expected to apply the knowledge and skills in their work. Sabara Tambua, FBC News.
President Ratoipeli Nailatikau, the Indian High Commissioner to Fiji, Jitesh Sharma, and government ministers have paid tribute to the indentured labourers who came to Fiji 136 years ago. A ceremony was held at the Suva Civic Centre last night with performances by students from the Indian Cultural Centre. Sharma highlighted the struggles faced by the Girmatiers during the indenture system.
When the Girmatiers boarded ships to commence the long journey to this place, many of them had never seen the sea before and had little understanding of what lay beyond what they could see with their eyes.
Meanwhile, a Girmet Night event has been organised by the FBC's Radio Fiji 2. It will be held at the Nasinu Sangam Primary School in Nasinu at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And on that note, it's sports time now. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Vinakadzaki and good evening. Coming up in sports, government assists Fiji 7 side to Rio Olympics and Fiji tennis squad to Pacific Games to be finalized after Fiji Open tournament. This and more after the break.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी आपकी हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे मिर्ची इट्स हॉट
Good news for the Vodafone Fiji Sevens team and the Fiji Rugby Union, with government confirming it will assist in preparations for the 2016 Olympics. Minister of Youth and Sports, Laisinia Tuitumbo, revealed this in Parliament this morning while answering questions on what role the state will play in preparing the team for the Olympics in Brazil.
As we have heard, to prepare a sevens teams in Rio, it will cost about $3 million to get gold, in its bid to get gold for the Rio Olympics. Yes, the government is also providing assistance for the Rio Olympics.
The Fiji Sevens team qualified for the Olympics last weekend in Scotland and this weekend is trying to win the World Series for a second time. Fiji meets Argentina in its opening match at 9:06 p.m. tomorrow before taking on Samoa at 12:12 a.m. on Sunday, with the last pool match against Canada at 3:18 a.m. And of course, you can watch the entire tournament live on FBC TV and catch live radio commentaries of Fiji's games with Satish Narayan on Bull FM. A year ago, the Vodafone Fiji 7 side was battling to keep its place within the top 4 spots of the World Series standings heading into the final tournament in London. The team has turned that around this year, marching boldly into England with a slight lead ahead of closest rivals South Africa and New Zealand. Vodafone Flying Fijians coach John McKee puts it down to Ben Ryan's disciplined approach to succeed, which has rubbed off well on his players.
We know our players have got great talent, maybe the most talented squad in the whole series. But you know, we need to go with that. You need fitness to play at high intensity, you know, throughout the tournaments, and particularly when the tournaments go back to back as they do. It's really hard to back up in the second week, and if the players are not fit enough and their recovery is not right, you can't do that.
Mickey adds Ryan has done wonders in improving each player's skill level and discipline, which is evident in the side's performance in the series this year. The national tennis squad to the Pacific Games will be finalized after the Fiji Open tennis tournament later this month. This follows an increase in the number of players vying for a spot in the team. Josephine Navula has the details.
More than 100 young tennis players have shown interest in representing the nation in the upcoming Pacific Games. However, the final squad will be selected after the Fiji Open tennis tournament.
So, according to the Fiji Open results we're going to have and the availability of the players from overseas and Fiji and locally, and then the selection is going to be based on that. So at the moment, I have not been finalized with any final listing for the PNG Games.
The 5-day tournament will also feature top international players.
We're waiting for the other 2 overseas counterparts coming from America to take part in this event, and former scholarship student Devashkar, these guys who are already here locally, they'll be participating in this event.
Reddy says their focus is to develop players from grassroots level and have them participating in regional tournaments to get more experience. The Fiji Open Tennis Tournament will be held at the tennis courts in Denarau from the 27th to the 31st of this month. Josephine Vula, FBC Sports.
Drag race champion Ravin Nath is out to continue his winning form in the next event on the Fiji Car Club calendar at the end of the month. The Drag Wars event will see participants race 2 cars at a time, an event Nath has dominated for the past 6 years at the Nanuku airstrip in Diumba.
I'm hoping, because I'm still fixing my car, I got a bit of problem with my car, and hope it's fixed by then I definitely will take the part in it.
We are very happy with the turnout. The last time we had 27 cars. We all expect 30 cars, but last event Mr. Khan and Ravi did not take part. They were overseas. So hoping this race will get at least 30 to 35 cars.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Car Club received a $5,000 boost towards its coffers from Lincoln Refrigeration Limited for the event on the 31st of this month.
The Lincoln Refrigeration always supports sports in Fiji, and we are grateful that Fiji Car Club have asked us for the sponsorship. We're grateful that again to Mr. Nath that we are involved with these sports again.
The Vodafone Fiji football side is currently playing Mexico in a warm-up game in the build-up to the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. This is the first of 2 matches the side will play in Australia, with the next game against Colombia scheduled for Monday. The team will then fly to New Zealand for the World Cup. Meanwhile, team co-captain Cedric Hughes says it's a dream come true for him and his teammates.
So excited being part of this team which are going to play in the World Cup, and I just want to thank God that I'm being part of this victorious team, and I know this is the very first time that Fiji has qualified for a World Cup in a soccer tournament. So yeah, I'm so excited that I'm being part of the team to this year.
In its first match in the World Cup, Fiji plays Germany at 1 p.m. on June 1st. And that's it from Sports Tonight. I'll be back again on Monday. Until then, have yourselves a safe weekend. Good evening.
Development NGO Friend, which produces 100% Fijian-made products, has entered into a distribution agreement with the Motibai Group of companies. Friend Director Sashi Kiran is thankful for the agreement, saying the company understands the gourmet nature of their products and its target market. Kiran says it's a proud moment for local farmers and rural women producers of the Friends Fiji style, as their products will sit alongside prestigious brands associated with the Motibai Group.
If we're able to market this really, really well, large numbers of people will be able to make income, ready, steady income out of it. So if more lemongrass sells, more lemongrass farmers would be able to supply the market.
The range of products include herbal teas, jams, chutney, pickles and handmade cards. Fine weather prevailed across the country today, while the prevailing winds brought cloudy skies in the east and some scattered cloud in the west. It was partly sunny and nice in Nandi today, with the temperature hitting a high of 29 degrees. There were scattered showers over Savu Savu today, holding the maximum temperature at 28. It was partly sunny and beautiful in Lautoka with a high of 30 degrees. Most centres can expect temperatures to drop to the low 20s tonight. The current cool streak is expected to continue tomorrow, with some scattered cloud and a chance of showers along eastern shores of the main islands. And it will be pretty much the same on Sunday, fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. The main points again. A motion moved by the opposition to repeal or review the media industry development decree defeated in Parliament. The Pacific region, now the biggest export market for Fiji, beating out the Australasian, North American and European markets, and Minister for Defence Timothy Natuva calls on the police to implement a new operational concept to tackle serious crimes. Now to our poll question for this week. We're asking... Our question for this week is, should police use taser guns? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our news for tonight. Be sure to join Akosita Tale from tomorrow with our weekend bulletin. I'll be back again on Monday. Till then, you have yourselves a safe and enjoyable weekend. Nimo Demanda.
Sarwandoro na kaloko na Radio Fiji 1 and Domi Viti na Bungani Binano. Nisambula Binaka na Ngonoboro Taki Rongo Seri na Ngona Nindreko Malolo. Nisambula Binaka, Oye wa Meli Kilani. Ningina Magatumana Nongo Bengarawi, Maina Moniti Kina Warombuka and a Rua Kina Vanakaloko, Nangona ni Rongo Manivia Sana. Wakina Wono na Ngona ni Rongo Seri and a Radio Fiji 1 and Domi Viti na Bungani Binano.